Okay, so this is going to be a bit of a different kind of video, and I'm going to do what's called Google headlines. And I'm basically going to go down the list and do a reading on the stuff that's in the headlines. Just a little small reading on each one. Now it's going to be some serious stuff, it's going to be some goofy stuff, it's going to be all of that in this one video. So if you don't want to see like the nonsense readings, then don't watch this. Because there might be a Burger King story or whatever, because there was one yesterday. So it might still be in there, and I'm doing a reading on it. So, first one says, in seeking to join suit over subpoena power, Mulvaney goes up against the president. What does that mean? Join suit over subpoena power. You go up against the president. Well, will you face backlash, Mulvaney? Over your seeking subpoena power. Join suit, it says. Hey man, the magician. So far it seems as though somebody is in a good position to do so. There's regret immediately after. Has something to do with the alliance. Lover's card here. There's strength and the other side. And then I think you may have to go. You're causing a little too much tension between you and the prez. I mean, you already had your gaffe of telling all his business. But you going up against him is not a good thing. Because he is going... Like right now, Jeff Sessions is running for Senate. And I just did a reading over on Patreon and the live stream talking about his run, how he's not supported by other Republicans simply because he recused himself. So Mulvaney, you going up against the president is not going to work for you. So the remains of a massive Jurassic sea monster found in a Polish cornfield. Well, what kind of question we're going to ask? I don't know. What can you tell me about this? Mulvaney to sea monsters. Makes sense to me. We have 5 cards. Something about a force. I think it was moved. Let's see. Page of Pentacle. Two of Pentacle. The Moon. Page of Pentacle. Or Page of Cups. It was not originally there. I don't know how this could happen, but it feels as though some either... Now, this is a long time ago, mind you. Some either storm or some either tectonic activity or seismic activity moved it. But, yes, it is, in fact, there. It is, in fact, real. Wands can represent bones. But, yeah, it's there. It is indeed there, but it was not originally there. It was moved somehow or another, but it was moved by natural sources. This is not, somebody picked it up and put it there. There it is again. Whopper discount and mistakes cost Burger King franchise $8 million. So apparently they discounted a Whopper and it cost them $8 million. Like, big deal, first of all. The person who owns Burger King probably has $8 million in their sofa cushion. So I'm sure this is not that big of a deal. But the discount apparently was in error. So, what can you tell me about that? I told you. Seven of Pentacles. So this is money. Invested money. Two of Wands. This actually can potentially be, this is potential. It can be a bigger deal. Simply because they're franchises, I believe. I don't know if they're are they franchises? I'm not sure. They probably are. But what this says to people who are skittish investors, people who, this is why the stock market jumps up and down every day. People hear something and then they freak out. Any company making a financial mistake can potentially tell investors that there's somebody at the helm who isn't doing their job. And then there's death. So yeah, it can potentially lead to something very ugly, believe it or not. The Hermit and the Fool. So we're talking people at the top. This is the isolationist, the person at the top. This is the beginning of something else. This is also the person maybe they're doubting their leadership or they're doubting their capabilities. Because the Fool and the Rider-Waite is about to step off a cliff and the little dog at its feet is trying to catch it, from walking or to step off the cliff. The people who are supposed to be loyal to you, to supposed to protect you. And so they don't want you to make a mistake. They don't want you to do the wrong thing. They doubt your capability. And so this could potentially lead to somebody at the top being doubted because of one small mistake. Like I said, it's $8 million. That is a lot of money to us, but maybe not so much to them. But it's potentially not necessarily the money. It's the principle of losing $8 million at once. So that's interesting. That's an ad. Toyota 4Runner. Giuliani's Soviet-born associates lived lavishly despite questionable finances. Well, duh. All people who file for bankruptcy don't have, or actually bankrupt. They are, what do they call it? It's like, oh hell, what is it? I forget. It's like just basically just redoing your books. You're not broke. You're not broke. So Giuliani's Soviet-born associates lived lavishly despite questionable finances. What can you tell me about that? The Fool. Death. Seven of Cups. Nine of Wands. Seven of Wands. They lived lavishly because it was somebody else's money. Yeah? There is a beginning here, a beginning journey. It changed everything for them. It gave them many choices. They had to be who they are, so they had to work hard for it, so they had to be despicable people. But in the end, it put them in a different vista. This is the higher ground card. So they did it with somebody else's money because of the, in particular, things that they were doing. The spying and the illegal and the this and the that. Okay. Well, these are 9 different stories on the same thing, so I won't do that. I already did Jeremy Renner. Jeremy Renner is supposed to be in the new Avengers movie, and he may be recasted because he's going through a very messy divorce. And his wife is alleging that he threatened her and was physically abusive and this and this. So he's got a whole lot going on, and he may be recasted because he's now been shown in a bad light. So they're going through a very, very ugly, tumultuous divorce. But I won't go through all that. Jimmy Fallon gets private lessons from Professor Matthew McConaughey at UT of Austin. So I won't do a reading on that, but because that's just a skit they're doing. As you can see, he's walking in and out of the room, and they're just doing the skit. But Jimmy Fallon is sort of in a bad place because his show's ratings are not doing very well. Now, I've done a reading before, and Tallulah Tarot was kind enough to do the reading for me as well about the changes his show's going to have to go through. Now, Jimmy Fallon, he's my favorite because his show is fun. I literally watched, I think, maybe 5 hours worth of Jimmy Fallon playing game shows on his talk show with various guests, games. He was doing Pictionary and charades, and you have to YouTube it if you want. It is just the most fun to watch. Like, he was doing Password with Shaquille O'Neal and Ellen. And he was doing charades with, John Legend and Jerry Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld in charades was hilarious. And so he was having a lot of fun, but his show is not political. And as a result of his show not being political, he doesn't necessarily keep up with the political climate, and he's sort of falling behind. Stephen Colbert sort of got that on lock. So, Jimmy Fallon, will your show be all right? Well, since I've already asked that other one, it's basically said that he's going to have to conform. He's going to have to make some changes. So post-Trump, will it be all right? 9 of Swords is anxiety, death, 4 of Cups. Yeah, you're going to have to conform. There's the Hierophant. You're going to have to be a completely different person. I personally, because this is the major change that they're offering to you, is conformity. Sort of keeping concealed who you really are. Not really being the fun, happy-go-lucky. You have to sort of keep the political interest entertained. Like, you can still be the game show guy. You can still do the fun things, but you have to have a little politics in your show, too. Because that's the era we live in, is people consume their news in various places, but it's always something political. It's always something you want politicians to be involved with, whether it's the environment or minimum wage or equal rights or whatever it is. You have to tackle those things too. They're not his strong suit, therefore the anxiety. But gonna have to conform. Not to mention, he's sort of in that group. He might be a Republican himself, I don't know. But you're gonna have to fall in line. Like I say, you just have to find the balance. They're offering you something you don't want, but to be concealed, heartbreak on the bottom. So you're just going to have to, do what you need to do. Or walk away. Do you have the right to recline your airline seat, your airline airplane seat? Is that grammatically correct to say airline airplane? Is it not redundant? I don't know. I'm not an English major. Somebody probably talks it gooder than me, so I don't know. Do you have the right to recline your airline airplane seat? No, and here's why. So, what can we get out of this? The airlines. There was a measure that was put forth by some Democrats that wanted to take a lot of the fees out of flying. And naturally that was shot down, so fees. Let's go with the fees. I don't really care about the seat because you're not going to make them any bigger. So I've never been 5'5" and 110 pounds in my life, so I went straight from kid to big fat adult. So, fees. What's the news on fees? Son of Wands. There is an action, but it's not the Knight of Wands, which is what this is. It brings an action. It brings maybe some change and some stability, but it's not like the Knight of Swords where it brings it quickly. It just brings it in time. Daughter of Swords. There's an agenda here. Because the Daughter of Swords here is a person who has one sword in their hand, but they're hiding their other hand. And so there is a bit of, not treachery, I think that's a little too harsh of a word, but some lobbying. Like you can, like this, every industry has a lobby, and this is no exception. To get it stuck, getting hung up in the Congress and courts and wherever they needed to hang up, fortune and string. So airlines basically control their narrative. They control their industry, like the telecommunications companies. As you know, AT&T and Verizon are not the same company, and yet they change at the same rate. Because all of that stuff is pretty much incorporated together. I remember back in the day when AT&T had a monopoly, and then they had to break it up, and then you had Bell South, and then you had, so anyway. Because when I was growing up, AT&T was called Southwestern Bell. And so the airlines is about the same as the tech companies and anybody else. Once one makes a change, they all make a change. Once one started saying, okay, fees for bag, then they were all doing fees for bag. And then one said, well, no fee for one bag, but you have a fee for a second bag, but you have a fee if the bag is too heavy. Back in the day, there was no fee at all. So, things change, but they change together. So this is not something you're going to break apart. Just like Verizon and AT&T, like I say, change at the same rate. They used to be, if you upgraded your phone, you got a brand new, fantastic, shiny, bright phone for 99 cents. All you had to do was sign a contract. Well, then all of them started doing this leasing thing to where they put it on your bill and you get an extra $50 a month put on your bill. And then they all did it at the same time. So they changed together. So airlines have absolutely zero interest in squelching the fees. Let's see. Okay. A Yale grad and ex-banker ended up homeless in Los Angeles. Then a fellow alum made an unexpected offer. So, the offer, I'm sure, is in the article. And I'm sure the reason why he is homeless is in the article, but I'm not reading it. So, what happened? What happened? So action, heartbreak, separation, judgment, tower, 3 of cups. So this is her with the new offer. This is her sort of coming to his place of rescue, or to be his light in the storm here. But it seems as though one thing after another. I didn't read it and I'm not reading it, but one thing after another. So it's life happened to him. Started off fine. Initial actions started off fine. Right? You had the world in your hand. Started off fine. And then maybe just one thing after the other. Just life happened. It wasn't like he was, on drugs or mismanaged his money, or, he kind of did, but it's just life got heavy. It happens. And then there's the tower. Maybe he lost the love, and then lost the house, and then lost the job, and then lost the car, and then lost it. So it's just one of those things where things just started spiraling out of control. But there is a resurrection. Life is starting over for you, but crap happens. So this is not really one of those giant, devastating stories, I don't think. Yeah, depression and methamphetamine. That's what that's what put him on the thing. So it was some drugs. There it is again. But life happens. Lost to this, lost to that, lost to this. Yeah. New rule, the Zuck stops here. I watched that earlier today. He was saying that people should just stop using Facebook, because there was a hashtag delete Facebook and it didn't work. So, will people stop using Facebook? No, but here's the thing about Facebook. It will become obsolete once the new thing takes place, whatever it is. Before Facebook, there was MySpace. MySpace is still there, just nobody uses it in the same numbers as Facebook. Nobody uses Facebook in the same numbers as Instagram. Even though Instagram is owned by Facebook, they still don't use it in the same numbers. They don't use it in the same numbers as they do Twitter. Twitter doesn't use the same numbers as Snapchat. So there is these, things change. That's all. because we have the past coming back again. So once it's obsolete, it will be gone. Once people start to leave it, this is abandonment walking away. There will be a new thing coming in, probably by Google. Google had Google Plus, and that went away because nobody gave a crap. And we'll have something new. It's just unknown for right now. So they're not going to stop using it until the new thing comes in. Fired CBS staffer Ashley Bianco tells Megyn Kelly she's no leaker. So is that true? She was a CBS producer who allegedly, what did that say? Who revealed ABC's alleged Epstein spike. Now I see how ABC or CBS squashed a Epstein interview or something like that, and then somebody leaked that information. She says she's not the leaker, but she was fired. Said she was just doing her job. She was not leaking anything. Then Megyn Kelly comes back to makes her return to journalism. She is not a journalist, first of all. She is a talking head with hair. So is she the leaker? Sun is my yes card. Yeah. Seven of Swords is dishonor that just flew off the table. Where'd they go? And well. Messages. In control of the message. So you have the power. Somebody else worked with you on this. I don't know if you're going to rat them out or not, but you are indeed the leaker. So since that card flew off the table, we'll use it anyway. Because I ain't getting up to get it. Megyn Kelly. How will your return to journalism work? The Magician. The Fool, Six of Pentacles, Five of Swords, Knight of Wands. So, the capable person steps in. Right now, you're fine. Beginning journey for you. Something new. There's a good opportunity here for you. It's a good opportunity. There's a good chance that this opportunity will go well. There are still some detractors, naturally. People who remember who you are. But you'll be fine. She turns to Instagram or whatever. So, Red Dead Redemption is a video game that is now on PC. PC meaning personal computer. It is a game that was, I think, originally launched, I don't remember where. It was on console, so it was on either PlayStation or Xbox. And it's about a cowboy, basically, or outlaw, actually he is. And so it has had a very bad launch for a computer or for a PC. Not a bad launch, but it could have been better. But they take very good care of their game, apparently. So, will they get better? Because they said it makes it really vibrant. It's very pretty on PC. So, let's see. Four of Swords. This is Rest. Six of Pentacles. High Priestess. Ten of Wands. Three of Wands. So it looks like the Kings have already worked out. This is not a big deal. It's not a big story either. It's the Kings have been worked out. Like they're at a resting point now to where things have gotten better. There was a lot of hard work put in. And they're on the road to something secret. So I read Dead Redemption 3, but it's, you didn't hear that from me. But they're already working on something else. So yeah, it's okay. Well, that's another story. Oh Lord, the Arctic blast is coming back again. Chilly down to the Gulf of Mexico. What you should know about the Arctic blast. It's called winter. I mean, for God's sakes. I don't believe in shifting poles because scientists say the poles are not going to shift. Therefore, I can't really do anything with that whole thing. Despite what you heard, I took it from the scientists. The scientists study this type of thing, so if they say it's not going to shift, it's not going to shift. Winter. Will this be the deadliest winter on record, or will it be the coldest winter on record? Well, I don't know. Let's just see what you can tell me. Two of Cups. Nine of Wands. Six of Cups, Ace of Wands, and the Emperor. So this one, probably in the next one next year, they will make a big deal out of, because it will be unlike the past, which means it will break records. And there will be a lot of, not hardship, it will be a struggle. Nine of Wands is about a struggle, this is about an action. So it'll be a lot of struggle to get through it, because it will be colder than it has ever been before. It will be colder later, too. So we're talking probably into April. It will still be freezing in some places, maybe even May. I don't even know what that means. So 5-hour work days, 4-day work weeks. Microsoft is introducing. Will this be a good thing? Because here's the thing. Salaried employees would love to work 1 day a week, 1 hour a week from home because they're salaried. They're always on the clock, but they're always off the clock too, or not always off the clock, but they get paid whether or not they're there. Hourly employees, you give me 5 hours instead of 8, I make less money. And you give me 4 days instead of 5 and 6, and I make less. So is this going to be a good thing or a bad thing? Probably good for some, bad for some. Let's see. Lovers. Devil, Six of Cups, Queen of Swords, Four of Pentacles. Well, what I feel, I could be wrong. The Lovers is like-minded people. The Devil, to me, seems like the reason we end with the Four of Pentacles is this is not necessarily, I'm doing this to help you. I'm doing this to save money. Because there is something stuck in the past here. There is some supportive thoughts, some supportive details, and clinging to money, clinging to something that you don't want to change. Now, mind you, they're still running a profit. They're just not necessarily wanting to pay out everything that they've paid out. Yeah, Nine of Cups. There's something else there, too. This is not just about relieving a person's stress. Because the Huffington Post, they have a better solution, I think. You know, they have mental health days and all this type of stuff. Well, anyway. Bernie Sanders laughs at the idea of Jeff Bezos floating Michael Bloomberg's presidential run. What does floating mean? Bernie Sanders laughs at the idea of Jeff Bezos floating Michael Bloomberg's presidential run. I don't know what floating means. Oh, Jeff Bezos asked Michael Bloomberg to run for president. That's what that means. Floating the idea. Jesus, say that. So, Bloomberg. I did a reading off camera, so let's do it on camera. How will you do? Uphill battle. Battle weary, battle worn. I don't think this is worth your time, but we'll see. Ace of Cups. Five of Wands. There's the politics. Temperance. Trying to work together. You have the money, but you don't have the necessary support, I don't think. High Priestess. Yeah. I think this is not worth your time. Because it's not necessarily... This is not your race to fight. There's a major change to your beginning. You might want to sit this one out, but that's up to you. Because Jeff Bezos called you. Why did Jeff Bezos call you? I mean, you're a billionaire, he's a billionaire. Fine, but... Why did he call you? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Seven of Swords, there's a sneaky strategy, so the two of you sort of have a like mind. Six of Wands, celebrated person. King of Cups being in control of the narrative, control of the emotions. So yeah, he's basically just wanting to make sure that from billionaire to billionaire, you're going to protect my interest. Because they're also your interest. Well, whatever. So let's do New York investigates claim of sexism in Apple Card credit limits. So is there some sexism in getting an Apple Card credit limit raised? No, it's dark. Apple Card credit limit raised. Is there some sexism involved? New York investigates. Well, Ace of Swords is usually yes. Hermit, somebody's investigating. There's some regret and some sorrow coming out of that. Five of Swords, somebody dishonorable. And the Two of Swords, there's a deadlock. Yes, they are. Yes, it is, has some sexism involved. However, they don't know who to blame. But somebody will be called to the carpet for it. Shame on you, Apple. Because Goldman Sachs probed after viral tweet about the Apple Card. Goldman faces probe after entrepreneur slams Apple algorithms in a tweet. Well, he wasn't lying. So let's see. Alabama quarterback. Oh, I don't know how to say his name. Is it Tua? Yeah, I don't know how to say that. I'm horrible with people's names. Tagovailoa. I don't know how to say that. Jesus. Anyway, how are your season go? He starts as quarterback against LSU. Donald Trump went to the Alabama game. I don't know if he was booed. It ain't been in the headlines yet. We'll see. How are you going to do this season? Strength? Good. Temperance. Page of Pentacles. The Sun. Nine of Pentacles. Very well. Physically speaking, anyway. I'm not sure if you'll have a good season, but you won't have a bad one. That's for sure. So you have a very good future. The Sun is coupled with Temperance. That's the healing card. So you'll be very good there. The Page of Pentacles, something tangible. And the Nine of Pentacles, something secure. So you have a good future. So good for you. Republicans say they are being silenced. Transcript proves otherwise. Well, of course it does. They refuse to read it. You need to be silenced. You don't have shit to say. This is why you don't ask 3-year-olds what they want for dinner. They want cake and cookies. That's what they want. You're going to eat these green beans and you're going to like it. So are Republicans being silenced? You wanted the transcripts, and then once the transcripts were released, Lindsey Graham said he ain't reading it. Like, for God's sakes, read the darn thing that you've been asking for. What is wrong with you? Are they being silenced? Chariots, Empress, Queen of Swords. The World, Five of Swords. There's an agenda. That's all this is. We know this, though, but we did the reading anyway. Like I said, I'm just scrolling down the headlines. There's an agenda. They're just trying to stall. There's something new. The world, something complete. Like, they know this is done. They know it. But if they can stall long enough, he'll make it full term. Top athletes join Mary Kane in sharing tales of abuse at Nike. So did Nike abuse Mary Kane? She looks to be an Olympic runner of some sort. Did they abuse you, Mary Kane? There's the Tower. Tower is my note card, but it's also a destruction, so let's read it in context. There's Justice. Six of Cups. Ten of Swords. And the Hierophant. Well, let me look and see. King said the all-male staff told her to get way faster, was to get thinner and thinner. Nike says it is investigating, but the cascade of allegations that have followed, same day everything's overdue, questions that Salazar's methods to... So they basically told her, because she's a runner, in order to be faster, you need to be thinner. She's now 23. I was emotionally and physically abused by a system designed by Alberto and endorsed by Nike. So, Nike said in a statement that they are deeply troubling allegations which have not been raised by Mary or her parents before. Mary was seeking to rejoin the Oregon Project and Alberto's team as recently as April of this year and had not raised these concerns as part of the process. She acknowledged looking to work with Salazar again. Nothing she did, so it becomes when her emotionally breakdown, sweet, brave, So yeah, she thought that she didn't want to appear to be a quitter or to give up just because he was harsh. So that's why she sought working for him again. But I think that she may be in the midst of maybe trying to pull some drama. Now, mind you, I don't think she's completely discredited. I think that what she says has some truth. This is not what it says here. This is basically, like I said, this is my note card, but this is a horrible time being had. And there was some balance, there was some fairness, but that fairness came to an end. And this is probably when they told her you need to be thinner. And it sort of dredged up some things from the past and maybe sort of made some immaturity kick in because she was sort of bucking against the system. So yes, she is not completely discredited. There was some of that going on. However, what she is doing now is for drama's sake. Because you don't necessarily... Like, your outcome is the system. And you said the system abused you, but then you wanted to go back to it. And I understand why you would go back to it, because this is your outlet. This is where you have to go. So I understand that. I wouldn't do it, but I understand why you did it. But I'm having a hard time necessarily feeling bad because you asked for it. Like, I mean, you put the time in. This is the chore. This is the thing you keep going back to and back to and back to. So why trap yourself in that system with the Eight of Swords if it's so abusive? But maybe your competitive edge is what kicks in, and then you don't necessarily mind because you're a go-getter. So, I don't know. I think I think this is a bit of a drama queen issue, honestly. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, that story just disappeared that fast. It's because I don't probably want to read on that at all. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry reunite with Kate Middleton and Prince William for remembrance service. So how is the relationship between those four? Let's see. The Emperor, the Empress, Nine of Cups. I'm going to put that there. Kings and Queens, put that there. Put this here. Nine of Cups, Two of Pentacles, Two of Wands, Ace of Cups. So, okay. Queen of Wands. Why does it always seem like they have the worst of relationships in the papers, but this gives me Ace of Cups. There's a lot of emotion here, but there is also some balancing, like they're going through some family things, yes. But there's possibilities of hope. This is the Desires card, what you wish for. So there is, well, I guess that's why we get that, because everything's not all right. Yeah, there's stuff under the surface that are just, it's, yeah. Seven of Wands, trying to move to your higher ground, trying to spend more time together with the Six of Pentacles. So they don't have the best of relationships, but both sides do want this to not be so ugly, especially in the public. And that's all time has been on that. Oh, it's a sweet story. Not a reading story, but a sweet story. Waffle House customers help a stranded employee by washing dishes and taking orders. It was incredible to witness. I bet it was. I knew he was going to do that. Trump Jr. slams The View host Sunny Hostin. That is the wrong one to go after, first of all. Sunny Hostin on Twitter. It says, what's it like to draw a paycheck from a network that not only protected pedophile rapist Jeffrey Epstein, that is probably the wrong name to be bringing up with your father, but in any case, what's it like to draw a paycheck from a network that not only protected pedophile rapist Jeffrey Epstein, but then retaliated against the courageous female whistleblowers by pressuring CBS to fire her. Oh, Lord have mercy. You picked the wrong one. And then she responded by sharing a link to an article about this $2 million that y'all got to pay. She said, did you also think what you did at Trump Foundation was legal? Because for those who don't know, the Trump Foundation is now disbanded, I believe, because a judge has ordered them to pay $2 million as a fine for illegal contributions and illegal or the mismanaging of money. And Don Jr., Ivanka, and Eric have to go to something called charity training, court ordered. So let's see. Donald Trump, Sonny Hostin. Was this a bad move for you or what? Have the Star, Center of Attention, Judgment, Queen of Wands, there's Sonny, Nine of Pentacles, and the High Priestess. So she is about to, it's not secret what she's about to do, but it is not widely known knowledge. So she's about to really blast the hell out of you. So this is the wrong person. This is probably what she's already done. Because something in the past about money. That's what she's bringing up, and she brought up the charity. So there it is. Two of Swords, Two of Cups. And your father and Jeffrey Epstein have a connection too. So she might be bringing up some celebrations that was had in the past. So you might want to pick your battles a little more wisely, but you're not necessarily the brightest bulb in the crayon box. So that's how that works. Let's see. Aw. Jimmy Fallon surprises college students with free tuition. Well, that's good. That's what y'all should do with all that damn money. Woody Allen settles $68 million lawsuit against Amazon. Amazon pulled one of his movies. I did a read on that a long time ago. Pulled one of his movies because Dylan, what's the child name? Anyway, his daughter accusing him of sexual abuse. And so Woody Allen says they have no right to do that because they had a contract. And so Amazon was trying to use a loophole to do so, and I'm not sure if they won or not, but they just settled out of court. Bobby Brown didn't introduce Whitney Houston to cocaine, according to Robyn Crawford. Well, we already know that. Her brother did. He admitted it in an interview with Oprah, so we already knew that. But Robyn Crawford is a woman who claims to have had a female relationship or a lesbian relationship with Whitney Houston. Romantic, that's female. Romantic relationship, that's what I was looking for. So is that true? Four of Cups, Three of Swords, Ten of Pentacles, Six of Swords, Ace of Pentacles. Nothing here says love. But they didn't say love. It was just, they had a romantic relationship. There's the Three of Swords, though, so there is some heartbreak. I'm not sure, but it seems as though she maybe have lived with her at one point. Helping her through some... She was a best friend. She was a confidant. helping her through the storm at times. I don't really, I don't know. Let's do these. How about that? Now, word of warning. I got these Lenormand cards. I don't read them like traditional Lenormand people read them. So if that bothers you, look away. So was Robyn Crawford and Whitney Houston in a romantic relationship? Signifier for me is Clover. So this is good luck, good fortune. Inside influence. There it is. That's heart, friendship, love, but then again, that could be just friendship. Outside influence, documents. But we got all the pentacle cards, so like I said, just something that just would come up, she would help her with. Something in the environment, life changes. Also traditions, but life changes. They usually go hand in hand with this card here for my spread. These two go together, these two go together. So she depended on Whitney, and Whitney was helped by Robyn. Something bad, high energy, something good, karma, and the this and that. So this is wanting something, wanting two things at the same time. So this could be some bisexuality there too. Outcome. Health and protection. Wisdom. I don't get romance. I just don't. Like, it's always been rumored that they had a relationship like that, but I don't get it. I just don't. Could be true, but I don't see it. Black Friday deals come early at Best Buy. Lowest prices on Apple Watch and HomePod. I want to look at the commerce for the holiday season. Now, last year there was a protest, and last year before that, or the year before that, there was another protest. Boycott Black Friday. And I know African Americans do it a lot, so that businesses will understand the power of the black dollar. But how will it do this year? Black Friday shopping, Cyber Monday shopping. How will the shopping season go this shopping season year? Page of Swords. Not the best. Hierophant. Seven of Pentacles. Tower, Hangman, and Queen of Cups. It'll be about the same. I mean, it won't be as joyous this time around. Maybe that's why the economy goes up and down, or the stock market. Because the Page of Swords is delayed and disappointing. But this is traditions and conformity. So We may be looking at a trend and not necessarily a one-off. There's a tower, so there will be some endings and some sort of bad news. The investments, but this is waiting. This is waiting, and this is waiting. So we're not necessarily going to have the greatest of numbers, but the narrative will be different on TV, as I think it kind of should be. That way you don't scare the whole world that the numbers were not so good this Black Friday, but Black Friday will not be the best. The numbers will be lacking. Transcripts reveal how Adam Schiff booted Matt Gaetz from the deposition room. Should have booted him from the planet. So Matt Gaetz and Adam Schiff. So Adam Schiff, are you going to be the new target now? 6 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, 2 of Cups, the Lovers, and the 4 of Swords. Here's the thing. I think if you want to pray for somebody, pray for Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Adam Schiff is fine. There is some sharing time, money, information, fine. But he is... yes, the Republicans do work together to try to discredit him. He's not a little boy and he's not a pushover. He has got people waiting in the wings for his protection. So this is not, he's fine. Matt Gaetz is a boy. He's not a man, he's a boy. PlayStation CEO wants PlayStation 4 owners to upgrade to PS5 as fast as possible. Let's see. Because here's the thing with these new consoles. I know Xbox, when it changed to Xbox One, did this. To where you have an Xbox 360, which was the first one I think they made, and then you buy all these games for it. And then they come up with the new console, Xbox One. But your Xbox 360 games don't work on the Xbox One. You have to buy all new games for the Xbox One. So are you going to do that? In PS5, we'll only play PS5 games. And are you going to do like Apple does for its old phones and stop supporting the older platforms? Let's see. 10 of Cups, Lovers, 6 of Swords, 4 of Wands, Strength. Well, it doesn't say that. But there is a lot of money that they put into it, therefore they need to recoup. And mind you, Best Buy, I worked for Best Buy for all of one day. There was this little boy there, called himself a manager, that I knew for sure if I worked there any longer, I would kick his whole ass. So I had to leave. So they don't make any money off of the consoles. They sell them at cost. So if it's $600 when you walk in there, that's how much Best Buy paid for it. What they make money off of is the security plans and all that kind of stuff that they sell you. Like those, do you want this security plan for $249 a year? Yes, I do. That's how they make money off of those. But there's a lot of money PlayStation put into number 5. That's why they are doing this. Fired McDonald's CEO is seen for the first time since she was canned over an affair with an employee. I don't care about that. I mean, there's nothing to ask there. Seen for the first time, like, what is she, the Loch Ness Monster? Vaping illnesses are linked to vitamin E, says the CDC. Original Marlboro man Robert Norris has died. Family of woman missing since 2006 refocuses search after new chip. Is she dead or is she alive? I like that. Well, I've been getting dead cards, but that's interesting. Since 2006, though. Somebody gone that long, you just assume they're not alive. Incredible video shows SpaceX rocket fairing plunging into the ocean. So Elon Musk runs SpaceX. He wants to go to Mars, as in puts people on Mars. So will he get that accomplished? Well, there's a deadlock. No. It's wishful thinking at the moment. But there is still a big picture to this, so there is still hope for this. And somebody, as the scientists say, somebody needs to be thinking this way. You know, moving the world forward. And when it comes to space. But I don't see him putting a person on Mars. But it does worry him that he won't be able to do so. But there is a lot now, I will say this, there is a lot of work that is put in. He will be the foundation for it happening. So when it does happen, it will be because of his efforts, or because the efforts of his engineers. He's just the money and the brains behind it, but, you know, the engineers are the ones who change the world. So he will be the foundation of it, though. Architectural Digest took a tour of Tyler Perry's 330-acre studio. Will he be able to maintain that? The Democratic debate will be held at the Tyler Perry Studios. So will he be able to maintain 330 acres? His studio is literally the largest in America. It's bigger than Disney, it's bigger than MGM, it's bigger than everybody's combined. So Two of Pentacles. It will be tough, which means in the beginning it will be slow. Like you have the Democratic debates are going to be held there. But at this point, you should have a roster so full that there's a waiting list, because 330 acres is a lot to maintain. Six of Wands, but there is victory. This is probably just you here. Ace of Swords, that's good. Clarity, true. Chariot, there's a lot of effort. A lot of effort you have to put into this, but this is not like you didn't know that. Then Page of Wands. That's good news. Queen of Swords. So yeah, he will be able to maintain. It's going to be slow in the beginning, but don't worry. Petition to remove Amber Heard from Aquaman 2 passes 30,000 signatures. What did she do? Ever since the lawsuit between the Pirates of the Caribbean actor and his... Who the hell is that? Oh, Johnny Depp. Oh. Oh, I did a reading on that actually too. I think she was being dramatic. It wasn't true. Amber Heard said that Johnny Depp abused her. I didn't see that in the reading, but they want to, like, fans are starting a petition to get her removed from Aquaman 2. The petition now has 30,000 signatures. I don't think it's going to happen, but let's see. Will they remove her from Aquaman 2? No. Tower card. The Moon, they have their reasons. Three of Pentacles, they are in cahoots. So, you know, she's... Mind you, just because you like Johnny Depp doesn't mean she needs to lose her job. Like, I get it. Now, this does sort of put her in an isolated place. So, I mean, she already has the job, so she's there. So, y'all calm down. So let's do this again. These cards are sharp, if that makes sense. Like, when I shuffle, they like poke into me. So we're going to switch. And I have to make sure I put in the title of this video that this video is going to be very long. I didn't know it was actually going to be this long, because I'm just doing the headlines, but Lord. Let's use this one. So, let's do it again. Did Johnny Depp abuse Amber Heard? Queen of Pentacles. Seven of Cups. Eight of Cups. Three of Cups. Ace of Cups. And Two of Wands. I don't see abuse. What I do see is a lot of cups, a lot of emotion, a lot of they don't like each other. Like, you know, sometimes you meet a person and you get sort of consumed by the vapors, and then next thing you know, you think that just because I liked you in the moment, that means we need to move in together, and then it turns like this. Mind you, there's a video of him, like, going crazy in his house, right? He's got something in his hand, I forget what it is, and he's in the kitchen, like, beating the crap out of all his cabinets. and she's recording him. If you're afraid, leave the house. Don't stand there and record him beating the crap out of the cabinets because he's mad at you. Would you rather him beat the crap out of you? This is what you're alleging. And then, of course, I don't see it. They say believe the victim, but don't just blindly believe people. I know someone who has been falsely accused, so I know what that does. So, no, I don't see it. Kourtney Kardashian spends the weekend with her kids at Kanye West's $14 billion Wyoming ranch. So Kanye West just got, well, he bragged about getting a $68 million tax refund. Tax refund. The man who now owns a church service. It's not a church. I guess it's a traveling church. I don't know. But his album, Jesus is King, did well, apparently. So, was this God's blessing, or did you just use loopholes of this church? Are you using this church as a tax dodge? There's the star, center of attention, Knight of Cups, Nine of Wands, a Knight of Disc or Pentacle, Four of Pentacle. Well, the Nine of Wands is the uphill battle, and the Four of Pentacles is holding on to your money. And then the two Knights, one delivers something tangible, the other one delivers something emotional. If you ask me, it's a tax dodge, but I can't tell him about his spiritual journey, just good luck on it. I don't even know who these people are. Well, I tell you, these old bands sure got some weird names. The Cars? Who the hell's the Cars? Like the Monkees and the Smashing Pumpkins. Like, I even like the Smashing Pumpkins, but good Lord, I'm not doing that. He cuts his ex-wife out of his will. Who cares? Wait, what? Why? Betsy DeVos cancels student loan debt for $1,500 at Art Institute of Colorado and the Illinois Institute of Art amid lawsuit. So two art institutes, one in Illinois, one in Colorado. She cancels the debt of 1,500 students. Why? Why? Three of Pentacles. Ten of Cups. The Hangman. Eight of Swords. Prince of Cups. And the Lovers. I believe it is for image. Crowning it all is the Knight of Cups, or the Page of Cups. This is called the costume designer. It's for image. There is this surprise, like, yes, this is a surprise. She has changed an outlook on something. But there is a trap, because this is amid the lawsuit that's going on about her, did you call it administration? Breaking the law? So it's for image. That's it. She's working together to change the image. Oh, Lord. So the real host, Jeannie Mai, is being dragged. Dragged means criticized. Being dragged for agreeing with T.I. T.I. is a rapper. For checking his daughter's hymen. So the story is T.I. goes to all of his daughter's gynecological appointments. The reason he goes to the gynecologist, is to make sure she's still a virgin. So, he's, of course, got backlash for that. Jeannie Mai, apparently, has said that she understands that why he's doing that, because she was wild at her age. The girl is 18. T.I.'s daughter is 18. T.I. also has boys that he does not have the same relationship with. Because boys will be boys type of thing. So, will he stop doing this? I don't care about Jeannie. I don't care about the backlash she get. Do whatever. But will he stop doing this? Three of Swords. Sorrow. No. Well, Five of Wands. Strife. Knight of Swords. Reckless. Two of Wands. Oh, no, that's not Two of Wands. That's the High Priestess. And then the Eight of Pentacles. So he's going to keep doing what he's always done. Day-to-day operations. That's his kid. So they do what they want. I think it's weird, but whatever. Eddie Murphy tried to stop Whitney Houston from marrying Bobby Brown. Bobby Brown was not the downfall of Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston was Whitney Houston's downfall. As I said before, she learned about drugs from her brother. They thought it was Bobby. It was the brother. So was it a mistake marrying Bobby Brown? Was it her downfall or was it her own behavior? One of the greatest singers that has ever lived. Queen of Swords, okay. Queen of Wands, Ace of Cups, Nine of Swords, and the Knight of Cups. What happened was delusions. Investing in the wrong thing. This is the Knight of Cups is that, it's called Seducer down here at the bottom, if you can see that. And it was just something she just indulged in. This is an overflow of emotion, something she just indulged in. It was to her mother's, her anxiety was as high as it probably has ever been. Because she realized who she raised, but then she looked at her daughter and she was a completely different person. She was seduced by the substance. It was not Bobby Brown. That was it. All right. Good Lord. That was a lot. What is this? 1 hour and 32? Jesus. So let me find one more. So let's do... Let's flex the Lenormand muscle a little more. Let's see. How will the Trump administration end will it end in disaster? Will it end well? Highly regarded? Let's do 5 cards. Well, we start with Snake. Snake is the betrayer. Material, abundance, changes, major changes, life changes. Ring, unions, partnerships. It will end in secrecy. The book is about the untold, but this is also about knowledge. Like something we have to seek out to learn, though. This is not just something that just falls into our lap. We have to turn the pages. We have to seek this information. High energy. Positivity. Solutions. Clouds. Heart. There will be some joy around it, though. Maybe, maybe because it's over, but there will be some joy around it. So, there will be some joy around it. Let's see if this says the same thing. How will the Trump administration end? Two of Swords. It will end like the book. It will end in evidence. This is tangible. The pentacles are something tangible, something you can hold. So the book had it right. It will end with info. It will probably end because of info. Oh, well, we shall see.